Leadership power strategies boost organizational performances by discovering profitable opportunities. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter for today's episode. And we are going to wait just a few more seconds to allow those who are going to join us live to join us live. And I say welcome to each and every person here. This is, in fact, our final episode in the Leadership Power Paradigms series. So I see one person has joined us, and I think I know who that is. Why don't you throw something into the chat area when you have an opportunity, and I'll confirm that it is who I think it is. Hello. Hope things are nice out east. And yeah, I'm going to begin in just a quick second. Okay, let's see and get our slides going. And here we go. Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter for today's episode. So far, we have described a few strategies for improving, guiding, energizing, and elevating our leadership performances. However, it is time for us to boost the resourcefulness of our understanding about strategy, strategic intention, and strategic thinking. So here we go. There is an act of the human will which usually gets confused with an act inspired by a human emotion called love. When leading people, you would do well to employ the willful act of love and leave your emotionally charged love at home. We saw that all humans have a soul, which consists of three separate and distinct parts. Number one, we have the human mind. We have the human will, which is a free or unimpeded power to make whatever choices we wish or choose to make. No one else can influence or control our will unless we allow that person or thing to influence our will. And every human being has emotions. So even though there are certain duties, tasks, and activities we may not feel like performing, we still do those things because we have to, are supposed to do, or are obligated to do. In those cases, we have performed the act because we applied our willpower and decided to do those acts. How many of these transformational intentions have you included in your game-changing strategy? If you take the time and make the sincere effort to energetically develop or clearly distinguish or fully deploy or completely dedicate the wealth-producing potentials of your human capital assets, resources, impacts, and attributes, you will see tremendous growth, nurturing, and enrichment in your organizational successes. Every leadership philosophy describes how an individual leader aspires to and deals with the challenges of attaining their personal and professional versions of God, glory, and gold. So ideally, if you hope to envision or achieve your most desirable realities, then these four concepts can and should be thoroughly explored, completely expounded upon, and deeply expressed by your own uniquely crafted leadership philosophy. Leadership means putting yourself in the position of learning, committing, purposing, and trusting yourself to the efforts required for transforming your human capital into creative producers of wealth and growth. Jack Welch of General Electric used his position of ignorance to ask questions of and learn about the plans, ideas, and intentions of his management teams and employees, and then use their inputs to guide, direct, and lead the company to great successes. Leaders can use their actions to prove they are committed to their people, their vision, and their growth. Unlike Steve Jobs of Apple, who was totally purposeful in his daily work, leaders who have no purpose will soon discover that their people have no passion or inspiration. And finally, every leader has to operate from a position of trusting others to do the right thing. And those leaders who trust the morality, loyalty, and integrity of others will find that others will begin to trust that leader in return. If you hope your employees and stakeholder communities use your visionary aspirations to energize the creations, contributions, collaborations, and connections they will need to compete and win in today's environment of chaos, confusion, complexities, catastrophes, and changing priorities, you will need to pack your vision statements with elements of information-based, knowledge-rich, wisdom-propelling energies. There are 7 essential elements of power that your vision statements should include, which are purposeful action, compelling reasons, trustworthy purposes, valuable identity, principled activities, eternal hope, and unlimited dimensionality. In your every leadership thought, action, and belief, you must be entrepreneurial in your approach, as if you are involved in a startup that faces uncertainty, with a passionate desire to serve and a willingness to test or experiment at all times. That you are always transformational in your intentions and dedication to develop everything and everyone, that you make clear distinctions and meaningful changes in your services and products, that you are philosophically authentic and principled in nature, and you are a complete and competent professional in your methods, your discipline, and your pursuit of new knowledge. A salient feature of such a thought system is that all inherent characteristic quantities, parameters, constants, indicators, etc., are defined by Dr. Ludovico's theory of evolving systems, so that these parameters, constants, indicators, etc., can be expressed in function of the recognized and qualified interactions only. This means also that once the system's specific interactions are quantified by appropriate methods and instruments, all of the significant analytical conclusions are also quantified and expressed independently of any other quantity that is extraneous to the system of the interactions described and represented. The energy events of your leadership agency system enable you to nurture and strengthen your philosophical, moral, social, and structural positions, because you can build the energy of empathy for your people or stakeholders, display commitment to your ideals, insights, or individuals, impact or influence, meaning for your processes, policies, or products. And when your structural agency of signification inspires trust in your integrity, involvements, or intentions, your leadership power will increase, be measurable, and become clearly recognizable to everyone. There are power rationalizations employing leadership power to effect a change on on an ideal, which is physical, or an action on, intellectual, or an action with, emotional, and spiritual, which are actions for, or developmental, which are actions towards. Leaders have to take direct action because every challenge, problem, trouble, difficulty, or opportunity you encounter as a leader provides you with a compelling rationale for and requires that you take action on something, that you act with some idea, you act for some worthwhile or worthy ideal, and that you act towards some form of progress or advancement. Multidimensional leaders realize that their own perspectives will determine their realities. If you hope to discover profitable, game-changing opportunities, you'll have to expand your outlook on the universe. Your own models, paradigms, concentrations, structures, and systems for leadership will need greater energizing influences. Here's a very noteworthy, idealistic, and ambition mission statement that you could use when creating your own business model for becoming a highly effective leader. When creating your model, you must eventually ask yourself why 5 different times to understand your fundamental, most inspirational purpose for leading. Your other 4 answers to why this model could become these statements like these. Is the business of leadership enriching human capital, transforming human capital into wealth-producing assets, transforming your human capital investments into highly creative, wealth-generating powerhouses, or engaging, enhancing, enriching, and enlivening all the energies of your human capital assets, impacts, resources, and attributes every day? Once the World Wide Web gave millions of people access to 1 billion pieces of information, we could have kissed the information age goodbye. And back in the days when knowledge was the key competitive advantage, we had to find ways to manipulate, analyze, evaluate, translate, synthesize, and transform those billions of data into practical, relevant, valuable, useful applications. And to be sure, we still find ourselves in that place where knowledge acquisition, production, evaluation, management, and enhancement are core elements in our strategies. But we now find the highways through which knowledge alone fuels our advancements and advantages, taking us to places of little comfort or refuge. Now those tiny villages are filling up with people who didn't used to live there. Those competitors are moving in with greater numbers, and they have similar tools, skills, and know-how. They also have greater aspirations too. This imagination age is not about the best and the brightest. It's about tapping into the historically awesome stories of creative, insightful, resourceful potential of human beings. If you want your leadership power to unleash the awesome human potentials needed for this imagination age, you must concentrate your thoughts, deeds, and emotions on these C-powered actions. Next, we'll look at a structure to help you challenge yourself and your people to aspire and achieve your highest ideals, and then we'll examine a powerful communication system that will supply your enterprise with unlimited possibilities and energies. In Durkheim's axiom of social authority and Bucky Fuller's structural system definitions, we discovered how the realities of social authority are derived through any social interactions which involve the mutually beneficial enactments of the constructs or ideals that a particular society, social act, or social system embraces, along with the externally or internally influenced actors and the moral or ethical constraints adopted by the system and those actors. So leaders must employ speech acts, use language cues, encourage interactions between various cultural or ethnic groups, promote and engage people through stretch assignments and more challenging projects, while those leaders empower everyone to assume greater leadership roles in visioning, planning, managing, coordinating, or communicating tasks. That is, Durkheim's axiom of social authority says, to the degree that any social interactions involve the mutual enactment of social norms and social roles, those interactions will embody social facts, and those social facts will clearly reveal the realities of social authority. Conversing, discussing, and reading done wrong without sympathy not only teaches us less than it can leave us worse off than before by confirming that we have nothing to learn from other people. Without sympathy, there is no understanding and nothing worth understanding. As Nobel laureate economist George Akerlof describes in his Nobel Prize-winning paper, those who withhold or block out information during their interactions will enjoy a far less quality of knowledge and understanding than those who transmit and open themselves to fully receive new information. Only the people who faithfully obey Akerlof's law of transactional quality in their conversations, discussions, and readings will discover those golden nuggets of wealth-producing ideas, strategic ideals, new interpretations, or game-changing instructions, where signaling shows, proves, or demonstrates their understanding, and screening suggests, or indicates that they understand. Now, this ends these lessons, and if you I'm going to run over to my final slide. Okay, somewhere in there. Okay, there it is. You're looking at the catalog of materials, training, and coaching support, which are featured in my Leadership Paradigms Producer Tools program. You can see that this program is designed to dramatically improve your leadership performances and use your leadership strengths to comprehensively empower the performances of your people. Right now, this program is available to you at my lowest possible price, so I urge you to visit the webpage that you see in the middle of the screen there, www.1-im.com/LPP-tools. That's www.1-im.com/LPP-tools. And if you like what you read on that page, just go ahead and get going now. Don't forget that there is my famous no questions asked, no risk to you 30-day money-back guarantee for this program. So you really have nothing to lose by enrolling now in this awesome educational experience. And that's not a 30-day. I think this is a 25-day for various reasons. Anyway, the guarantee is for 25 days, not 30 days. Okay. And while you're looking at that, if you are in the webinar room itself, just look on the right side of your screen and click on the Enroll and Get Started Now button. That'll open up a new browser window or a new browser tab for you, and you can read all about this program, learn all about this program at your leisure, and that way you won't lose your place in the webinar. And the reason why I say that is because I have two bonus gifts for you. So let me run back over to my control panel, which is over here, and I'll send you the links. Yeah, well, guess what? It's snowing here, Professor. And it's snowing pretty heavily right now, even though we were supposed to get one 1/10 of an inch of snow, which was supposed to happen later today. We already have probably a good half an inch right now, and they're hours off on their forecast. So I think somebody did the right thing by going east. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great time out there. Professor Jane, um, one of the great industrial engineers, and thought leaders in industrial engineering as well. Um, anyway, I won't say much more because I don't want to boast on one of my good friends. But anyway, anyway, for those of you who are watching the webinar replay, you can just use those links to download and print out your 2 free bonus gifts. And of course, you can also click on the Enroll and Get Started Now button, and that'll open up a new page for you too. And also, this is our final episode of the 50 episodes that were originally scheduled to begin in mid-January, not even really mid-January, I guess. So that's it. This is it for Leadership Power Paradigms. We have had a great time doing these weekly episodes of 14-minute or so episodes. Of course, these last few have been a little bit longer, but that's because we've been doing a different script for the last 3 or 4, I guess. But we've enjoyed ourselves. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. For those of you who are on the mailing list, you'll be getting from time to time, you'll be getting links to the replay recordings so that you can watch them and get a little more out of each one of them, maybe take some notes, maybe ask me some questions. And speaking of that, for those of you who are on the webinar replay, you know that you can just look on the right side of your screen. There's a question box there for you, and just type in your question, press email us, and it will email your question to me. And it will also include the name and the email address that you use to register for your replay recording access. So, you don't have to put in any of that information. All you have to do is just type in your question or your comment concerning leadership or management, and I'll be more than happy to write you back with my ideas and thoughts and opinions, and maybe even a few insights or two on that particular question or comment. So, okay, great. I'm so glad that you were able to join us live today, Professor Jane. It's great to see you here. Yeah, it's snowing. So much for all these little shopping trips that we had planned for tomorrow. Because I don't think I think we're getting a lot more than the dusting that they promised us. We already have a lot more than the dusting that they promised us anyway. So anyway, hope you and your dear loved one are having fun there, and you say you are, so I'm gonna wish you even more fun and enjoyment. And I'm not sure if that local team is playing. I think they're playing in one of the bowl games or something, so maybe you guys can go around town while everybody else is at the stadium. And you can have more fun. A Merry Christmas to every one of you. Happy New Year celebration for you all. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something that sort of involves this particular series, but I don't think it's going to be weekly next year for 2017. But hey, you never know. I might get the muse and he might kiss me and do something. So oh, that's even better. That's to you, Jane. That's even better. Yeah. Hopefully by that time, all this weather will pass by too. That particular neck of the woods, as they say, about that city that you'll be in or be visiting there. So yeah, God bless. Okay, well, anyway, this is this has been the leadership. Thank you for joining us in the Leadership Power Paradigms episode today. This is Bill Thomas. I've been your host and presenter for today's episode, and God bless each and every one of you. Godspeed to you all, and we wish you all the very best of success in all of your endeavors. Take care and be well.